6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Feast your eyes on Yellow Sim 2020. Gotta love it, gotta love it. No, it maybe won't be that bad. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 for one reason, and one reason alone. That is the Borris AudioWorks 737 sound pack. I tried getting the MD-80 working again in 24. I think Wrong Side Sim's flying it right now in the Sim Update 1 beta. I don't have the beta. Maybe he'll have better luck. I can get the airplane to work fine. Liveries don't work, and FT Sim sounds don't work for me. I tried a couple different things. So for now, I just can't do it. The sounds are just so, it's an insult to humanity, the default sounds. I think somehow the default sounds got even worse on the MD-80 in the beta version. So the only way to remedy that is to get into a Borris Audio sound pack, and that is it right here. 737-600. We're rocking the PMDG. Love PMDG stuff, man. I actually really cannot wait for these 737s to drop in 24, because we'll definitely have a little 737 festival. Maybe we can fly along with Mr. Full Flap Sim over there once they drop into 24. But we're in Frontier Airlines. Yes, Frontier did fly 737s. They had 200s and 300s. This is a retro 200 livery before they started doing the animal tail and stuff. So kind of neat to see that on the 600. We'll rock the 6-pack gauges, and of course the Borris AudioWorks, like I mentioned. So it should be a fun flight. We're headed up to Bozeman, Montana. Montana. It's in Montana, right? Bozeman, Montana? I think that's right. Yeah. So head up to Bozeman. I downloaded a free scenery up there for that airport. We'll have a little scenery on the way down, and we'll just take a look. We'll see how the sim flies. Right now, I can tell you right now, this is midday. This is where every sim has its like worst time zone to fly or time to fly, and I think midday in most sims is kind of the most bland. And we're midday, and you can kind of see just the colors are just not as vibrant. They're not as juicy as they are in 24. Now this is where if you have Rex Atmos running in 2020, it's definitely going to help, because I remember when I had Atmos and 2020, I actually enjoyed flying midday. So if you can run Atmos, I mean, more power to you. It's definitely going to make a big difference if you can run that stable on your system. So with that said, let's not waste any time, because I am possibly doing a Tour de Americas Leg 2 this afternoon in the Duke in 24. Now, we'll have to see what happens. I just stopped over at my little Pew Pew shop, and I was able to pick up some of my items. So I'm really excited to try some of those items today. So we'll have to see how the timing thing lines out here. But full flap, I forgot to text you back. Individual in 4 days, dude. 4 days. That's the record for me. So I'm super stoked, and I'm ready to go. XTX is out for delivery. I haven't, let me double check right now before we get going. The problem is the girls had dance today, and it needs someone to be there to sign off on the package. Let me double check, make sure it didn't miss. They're on their way home now. It was out for delivery this morning, and I just want to make sure it doesn't say we missed you. Sorry, we missed you. My XTX track shipment coming from UPS. They typically come later in the day. Yeah, it's still out for delivery. So it should be delivered by today, end of day. We'll see what happens. So Max Rank, my man, good to see you, dude. Flew into GPI Glacier Park yesterday in the sim. Great views. The real trip will be in 2 weeks for skiing. Love Montana. Dude, Max Rank, that is awesome, man. That is very, very cool, going skiing out there in Montana. Yeah, I'd always want to see Montana. Right, Hunt for Red October, anyone? All right, let's go ahead and see if we remember how to fly a 737. I've been watching some full flap sim, mostly on mute though, because he already took out one of my sound bars, so I haven't really been listening. But I've been trying to do things somewhat properly, maybe, allegedly. We'll find out. One ping only, please, Zippy. Good to see you, my man. All right, so let's start it from the top. We'll take it down. We do have the cockpit mod on here, which is, I think it's a must-have. You got to have the cockpit mod. Make it real. Worn out. Don't have external power hooked up. That's my bad. Let me do that real quick here. We're going to go ground cervices, external pit power, GPU cart, request ground power. They're hooking it up right now. Hold on. That's on me. Bad streamer move. Can you imagine full flap and flight deck in a shared 737? Ooh, that would be something. All right, ground power on. Boom, on bus. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and take it from the top. We'll come down here. Fuel pumps look good. We'll keep those off. APU, beautiful. Logo lights on. We got the steady pause lights on. Cruise altitude. 40,000 feet? Is that legit? I think we are going up to 40,000 feet. Go ahead and clear you out. Oh, I always forget there's an... oh, here we go again. My keys are backwards from 2020 to 2024. Align nav, align nav. Should have started at the top there. That's on me. So align nav, on DC, align. That looks good. Let's see the field elevation for Bozeman. Go back to our flight plan here. Actually, I guess we can just go to our charts. And... let me just go to the approach real quick here. Field elevation in Bozeman, 4473, so we'll call it 4,500 feet. That's up there, almost a mile high. Actually, 4450, that's close. We'll round up to it right there. Beautiful. 4450 set on the pressurization. We'll go A's off, B's on, because that's the only one I know how to do. A seatbelt sign, we're still going to receive fuel, so we'll keep those off. Everything else looks good. Left pack, off, off, off. APU bleed is off. Right now we got ground air. That looks good. Our glass has come to life. Wonderful. FMC. Here we go. with you on Microsoft 2020. Benny, my man, good to see you. Thank you for the 50 months of support. We're on 2020. I had to get rid of all my custom traffic. Does not seem to be working, so I yeeted everything out of the custom rules, and I just did default to Dobo traffic like my man Full Flap Sim does. So that's all we're going to see is generic twin airliners today. I don't know what happened to traffic in 2020, but I'll be honest with you, it doesn't bother me one bit because my main sim is 2024. So here we go. Let's go ahead and do the pause and knit. We'll go to page 2, get the left position, bring it back, paste it here like it's 1979. Route flight plan request. That's us, Denver to Bozeman. We'll go ahead and set payload, and then we will set fuel. And real quick, I will verify 12.8 total. Let me check with my paperwork over here because I think we found a discrepancy last time. Yeah, 12.843. Wow, they shorted us on the gas. See, that's all right. That's a point. Well, maybe not in this fuel version. On the NG, I would imagine you'd be able to see the full number of fuel, right? You don't just round up to 12.8. You'd be able to see 12.840 or something like that, maybe in tens. It's a question for you real NG drivers. All right, so block fuel 12.8, that looks good. 106.6. Select route. We're going to request the flight plan. And we got to wait for it to uplink, I believe, right? Or do we have to plug it in? Oh, there it is. Route uplink already. We'll go ahead and load that. We'll go ahead and load the uplink. Clear that sucker out. Hundreds is all you get? Really? Wow. Well, I mean, I guess if it comes down to the tens, you're probably in a world hurt if that's making a big difference. Close enough for government work. Yeah, but what if it's like, what if you're getting ready for takeoff and your min fuel is 12.8 and you're 12.79? Are you going to go? That's an interview question for Full Flap Sim. You've just de-iced twice. You're getting ready to run out of time. You're number 1 for takeoff. Your min takeoff is 12.8, and it just clicked over to 12.79. I guess you wouldn't be able to see 7.9 in the NG. That's what makes the Airbus superior. What are you going to do? You hit 12.7. Sounds like captain problems. Oh, man. I don't know. All right, that's us right there. 357. We'll activate, execute. I do have Denver ATIS online. Let's take a quick read of that. Right now, Denver's departing information in November, 320 at 12. Departing 2534 left. Aircraft must read back assigned. Heading a first waypoint with clearance, blah, blah, blah. Okay, November is current. What does it say on my ACARS? Maybe they gave me a runway. Expect runway 34 left. Contact 2185. So, excellent. Let's go to R. Departure arrival. Departures, next page, 34 left. And we're going to be on the X-Wing. X-Wing 1, execute. Take a look at our route pages here. Direct Toga. It's a kind of an interesting route that we have. That's it. And then direct Bozeman with no star. So I guess we'll just leave it as is. Arrival, I don't know what they're landing. I know the Viz is supposed to drop up there in Bozeman around our time of arrival. So I'm going to set the ILS 1-2 right now. We'll use the Brigger transition so we have everything drone out, but no star for now. We may have to modify that once we reach our cruise altitude. All right, so our route looks good for now. Let's go into the perf init phase. We'll go ahead and copy over the zero fuel weight, 106.6. That looks good. Reserves, we'll take sim brief reserve fuel. Says, I don't know, we'll just guess. Let's just put 2,000. That's basically nothing. Cost index 75. 400. That looks good. What's on the next page of the perf? Time air tolerance. Nah, nobody cares about that. Climb, TO22. We're doing 22K takeoff. We're not derating. -2. Takeoff speeds. Flaps 5. CG 19.6. We'll do 5.9 on the trims. Look at these speeds. Look at these speeds. 117, 119, 127. We are going to be a rocket ship. I guess you could put in the slope and all that stuff if you're extra hardcore. Acceleration out 2,000 feet. There we go. That looks good. All right. I like that. We got a massive membership bomb from Blackbird Controls, my man. Appreciate the support. We'll go left forward, fuel pump on. Fueling is done. Seatbelt signs have come on. Let's go ahead and start the APU and we'll take a listen. Blackbird Controls dropping 20 gifted memberships. Blackbird, appreciate the massive support, man. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday post Super Bowl. Thank you, man. Very, very kind. If you get gifted a membership from Blackbird Controls, you need to be rocking the Blackbird control levers for your Honeycomb Bravo. It's a good opportunity to show you something. Give me a second. As we listen to beautiful APU startup. So, I'm not rocking the, where are we at here? So I'm actually rocking the Throttletek Quadrant today, but I have my Blackbird Control 737 lever, which is full size. I put it up next to my Quadrant. It is 1-to-1, the same size as the real 737 Quadrant throttle, which is pretty amazing. Again, if you haven't checked out Blackbird Control 737 Quadrant stuff and you have a Honeycomb Bravo, you're wasting enjoyment of your simulation. So make sure you pick up some Blackbird Control throttles if you're using a Honeycomb Bravo. All right, sounds are up and running. Let's come back up top here. Let's go APU bleed on. We'll go ahead and turn those off. I forget if it's window heat or probe heat. We'll go window heat on. We'll do probe heats after start. Yaw damper can come on. It's going to still flash, right? Oh, no, it goes out because we got the B's on. That looks good. Magic Barrel Ref will update you. Top altitude per the SID. Climb via SID except for... Oh, climb via SID. So let's go ahead and take a look at the departure airport SID crosswing 1. Can I make this daytime? Yes, I sure can. Beautiful. Let's see. Flight level 230 is the top altitude. Restrictions 250 knots, so that won't be an issue for us. We'll go ahead and spin up the altitude to flight level 230 on the initial. Full flap sim says I can confirm the Blackbird controls are the ultimate 737 throttles. Well, there you go. Take it from a real 737 driver himself. You got to get the Blackbird throttles. Where'd you get the Bozeman? Benny, I just downloaded the freeware one off of Flight Sim TO, my friend. Flight Sim Bozeman, Flight Sim TO. IS Mock will put V2 127 in there. I think that's right. Flight Director 1, Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. Flight Director 1. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Gosh dang, the 737 is so terrible. All right, Flight Director 1, Flight Director 2. That's the master. 230, heading 352 for departure. 127 on the speed. We'll get all that after start. We need a squawk. 3754. 3754. TARA, and we'll get ready for push and start. I guess we'll come down here to the... We'll just keep this on FS actions here. Let's go ahead and transfer over. Alright, APU generator is online. We'll go ahead and request release. We'll release the air conditioning act. We'll remove the wheel chocks. And let's turn the beacon on, get ready for push and start. Anti-collision's coming on. How do I... I think I have to install wheel chocks to remove the GPU. Or, there we go. Release the jet bridge. There we go. Jetway's pulling back. Denver ground is on 2185.
Running advisory. Request 4414. Have a great day.
Did it say call before push? It says contact for push, 2185. And we have November. Denver ground, good afternoon. It's Frontier 357, Alpha 32 with November, ready to push.
Frontier 357, push instead of push on to Alpha Alpha, calling for a taxi.
Push Alpha Alpha, we'll call you ready taxi, Frontier 357. He's asking a lot of me to push.
357, push onto Alpha Alpha, face west.
All right, Alpha Alpha, face west. We'll let him know. Frontier Flight 357. All right, we'll let ground crew know we want to face west on Alpha Alpha. We'll see what happens. Westbound is that direction. We are going to expect 3-4 left. So it would be a short taxi out. So let's go ahead and attempt to go ahead and remove the wheel chocks.
Northwest 714.
Northwest 714, push instead onto Alpha Alpha, face west.
Now, wasn't there a way to do, yes, ground operations? Oh, I could have done it all through here. Ground vehicles? Ground connections? Ground maintenance?
Frontier Flight 357,
Can I not?
looks like you filed as a Boeing 737-600.
That's affirmative. We're circa 2002.
So you also filed a slant Lima, is that correct as well?
Is Lima what we want? Stand by. Is Lima what we want? I think that's what we want. I think Lima is still RNAV, right? Slant Alpha would be no. For Frontier Flight 3%, that's for where we are, Slant Lima. All right. I swear there's a way to pushback. Pushback, here it is. Pushback, straight out, standard left, turn nose right. Nope. 90 degrees. Sure.
Hello, below.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Beacons on, brakes released, cleared to push, tail right.
Who's that guy? Tail right. At least he does that right.
Copy that. Clear to push. Tail to the right. Release the party brakes, please.
Brakes released, clear to push. I think.
Brakes released.
Now they are. He told me to go nose. He told me to go Alpha Alpha. Elena Zane, thank you. F as Lima as FAR Nav and RVSM. Thank you. That's a dreamy voice, isn't it, Mickey G? Oh, you know what? We forgot to throw Mickey G on the jump seat. Let's throw him on the jump.
Man, this jump seat kills me. When you guys putting an Airbus bit in?
Hey, don't worry, brother. I'm already on the Airbus. I'm just filling in. That is a dreamy voice. It is. Next to you, thanks, man. I like the retro livery too. This makes me want classic so bad. All right, let's see, we're gonna get a left turn here. We should be tail right, so it was said correctly. If we don't start turning here, I'm gonna have, oh, he's turning. He's turning. He's trying to turn. The tug is turning. The aircraft is not turning. Are we supposed to have hydraulics on? For push? I feel like this is gonna end poorly. Let's go ahead and stop the push. Alright. PMDG won't turn if the hydraulic pumps are off. RIP. Alright, well, I already screwed that up. Alright, brakes are set. Clear to disconnect. Show me the pin out front. We're going to go ahead and start them up. We're going to start 2, then 1, and it's going to be Borris audio. So let's make sure we are configured. So we've got no pressure, APU bleed, off, and we'll bring up this, grounding 2. Gosh, that sounds so good. Wait for it to stabilize. There we go. Starter valve closed. Go ahead and turn 1. Sounds like max motoring. Fuel. Gosh, I love that. I can't wait for this to come to 24. We're gonna have 7. Here's the thing. I'll make you a deal, full flap sim. I will intentionally learn proper procedure in the 737 when this is in 2024. That's the plan. All right, Gen 2, Gen 1, that's coming on. Bleeds off. Auto, on, auto. Pitot heat's coming on. All hydraulics are on. Pressurization is set. We're gonna go cont. And APU is coming off. Beautiful. It's like a professional. We are flaps 5. Ooh, let's take a listen to this. Flaps 5. 1, 2, 5. I need Whiskey Throttle to get a hold of this livery and throw some grime on these wings. I miss that Metrojet livery with the dirty wings. So much juice. I'm going to turn the sim down just a little bit. That's so good. All right, we got 2 good starts. Flaps 5, RTO. We don't arm the spoilers. Brakes released. Takeoff config check. That looks good. And let's call for taxi ground. Frontier Flight 3057, November taxi.
Frontier Flight 357, runway 34 left, head for Alpha Alpha Whiskey Alpha.
Alpha Alpha Whiskey Alpha 34 left, Frontier Flight 357. All right, here we go. Alpha Alpha Whiskey Alpha 34 left. Taxi lights coming on. Brakes are released. Let's go.
714, follow the Frontier 737 in front, runway 4 left.
Follow the CFI front all the way to 34 left.
Uh-oh. Why is the tug still connected? Saved. Oh, those sounds, though. If y'all are in Discord, you know I just jump seated on a 737 back to Dallas. I was literally sitting right here. This is literally my seat. That's pretty good. That is so good. Borris just knocked it out of the park. Okay, so 1FD, don't have those. FD will be LNAV, VNAV. I said that backwards. Will be VNAV. No VNAV off the ground in this thing? Okay, no VNAV off the ground. Auto throttle will get that for taking the runway.
357, looks like you're on Alpha Sierra, go left 1 line to Alpha Alpha.
Sorry about that. One of the Alpha line, 357. Gosh dang it. You gotta have a chart up, guys. Don't be like this guy. Oh yeah, Whiskey Alpha. There we go. Cool. Come on, full flap. Where's the FO to tell me I'm on the right line? Just leaving the tow bar for the ground handlers. Bozeman. Jaffo, I have the SkySim DC9. I'm anxiously awaiting some updates because I actually like the texturing of the SkySim DC9 better than the MD80. So it's just got some game-breaking bugs right now on version 1.0. Whiskey Alpha Alpha Whiskey Alpha. So it's basically straight out is what we're looking for. Once I get some updates, man, I'll definitely give it another shot because I really want to be flying that DC-9. My favorite part of this sound pack, listen to the window rattle, that's so true, is listen to like the little right there. It's so good. All right, so Alpha Alpha to Whiskey Alpha straight out across the pad to 3-4 left. Okay, put the T down. I don't have a tray table. The SID, let me make sure we don't have any funky business on the X-Wing 1 here. We'll full screen it because we know where we're going now, allegedly. Full screen, 3-4 left, at or below 10,000. That actually might play with the 737-600. We actually might have to be careful of that 10,000 at or below there. I don't know what causes that spool up sound with Mickey, but just listen. Here we go. Ready? Fuel pump, maybe? It's just awesome. It makes me miss. You know what really did that? That was really enhanced on the 73300s. The 3s and 5s really did that too. I guess they all do. It's the same engine. What's crazy is you sit so low in the 737 that I feel like I'm going faster than I actually am. I'm only doing 10 knots here. I'm taxiing like a grandma. Let's pick it up. Alright, I guess we could put on terrain. Put on terrain mode. We'll zoom the range down. And we are TIRA.
Tower is offline. Launch advisory.
Over to advisory. Frequency change approved. Thanks for the ATZ. Frontier flat 357. Alright, advisory is 24.3, I believe.
And Northwest 714. Tower is offline. Launch advisory.
24.3 is up. We'll spin off the Cat 3 design tiller cam, which Mr. Cat 3, if you're watching, I just got your text. Before I went live, my man. I'll get back to you here real soon, but I am very intrigued. Got some texting going on between Cat 3. We got to complete. No HUD, man. We are 2002. Actually, when was the last 737-300 flown for Frontier? Might have actually been, it had to be the early 2000s. That'd be early odds. That's the fuel being added before the engine spool up. Right here. Ready? Everyone, shh, ready? I'm going to turn it all the way up. We'll have full sounds for takeoff. Here we go. Listen to this. So good. All right, we're clear. Let's do a rolling takeoff. I don't know where this click spot is for that light bar. Gosh, I missed 2024. That's coming on. Cont, wing, wheel well, strobe and steady. Flight attendant call. Flight attendant's prepare for takeoff. Clear left. Clear right. Auto throttles armed. LNAV. Show the outside view behind the engine. I mean behind here. We're gonna have to do it to spool up from the runway. We can't do a rolling takeoff. We gotta spool it up from the wing view. Alright, let's do flight control check. I never did a flight control check. Can't pull an XP72 here. Flight controls are free and correct. Check. Alright, here we go. Matty K, thank you so much, my man, for the $10 super chat. From my understanding, low rushing air is escaping through the narrow openings as a variable bleed valves transition from open to closed. You know what, Matty K? That sounds exactly like I was thinking, my man. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Thanks for the info. And I would believe that. So I think you're onto something, Matty K. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Let's go ahead. Yoga's in chat. Spool them up 50. Yoga.
Yoga.
auto throttle did not capture because I was not in the right spot. There we go. N1.
80 knots.
Auto hold. Rotate. Up we go. Sorry, Captain Canada. Didn't mean to steal that from you. All rudder pedals are not secured. Positive rate. Gear up. Fly with. Okay, watch the speed. 20 degrees, pitch. Going through 1,000 feet. Why am I not getting VNAV? I'll tell you what, let's do level change. 250. I think I know why we're not getting VNAV. I forgot an altitude, I think. 250 will level change, MCP speed. Clean up flaps 1. Felix, you're onto something with that, man. The flap sounds are 100% real, y'all. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit here so we're not blasting everyone's ears. Flap 0. The no winglet is a core memory. I'm right there with you, man. The no winglet. All I want for Christmas is a 737-300 straight wing. Which one did they put on the Southwest 7.3s? They had the 3s and 500s. One of them never got winglets, right? Or did the 3 and 5 get winglets for Southwest? I want to say the 500s never got winglets, maybe? I don't remember. That's all I want for Christmas. 737-500 wingletless Southwest Ops Bore sound pack. All right, we're 250. Pretty easy departure here. We're just basically straight out. We'll get rid of the terrain. We're LNAV MCP speed. Yeah, that's why I never got VNAV. We'll execute that. Now we should be able to go VNAV. See, look, I did learn something from Fly Navy. I knew immediately why I had an issue. We just blew through that 10,000 foot restriction. That's okay. I guess let's just hell with it. Let's just level change it now since we figured it out. We'll level change up to 400. But I did learn something. I knew exactly why I didn't have VNAV there after takeoff, so you should be proud of me. N1 LNAV MCP speed. I guess we can crank it up. Let's do 280 in the climb out. And we're approaching 10,000 above field now. So with 10,000 above field, we'll go ahead and kill the lights. I know there's something about retractables at 10, something, the other one's at 18. Nobody cares. Let's just do it this way here. Anti-collision, strobe and steady, beautiful. David Andrews, you're absolutely correct. It was. That's what we're rocking. Rocking the old school EFIS layout. Gosh, the wing looks so good. I love the PMDG straight wing. Pretty cool livery too, I gotta be honest with you. Super retro with the bare metal. No, AJ, this is not real life. It's not real life. It's too yellow to be real life. But the sounds make me smile, and that's all that matters. Tell you what, let's go legs page. Go direct cross X-Wing, execute, LNAV, command A. We are looking good through 18. Magic barrel ref standard is set once, twice, and thrice. That can come off. I can't put this in the off position because my Bravo doesn't allow it. It's set to up instead of set, so I think that's why. But we'll just pretend. We'll just pretend. We'll put you on the legs page. We got a... Why do we have a disco after Toga? That's because the star. Technically, after Toga, it's direct Bozeman, so we'll do it this way. We'll go... That's how our flight plan is filed. This is a real-world thing that we do here in the airplane, too, in the Airbus anyway. So, like, if your flight plan has a fix and then the airport, technically you need to put the airport after that fix. Now, I can have the approach in there below the airport for awareness, but by definition my flight plan is Toga direct Bozeman, so that matches up for now. Alright, 40 is set. We're climbing out. We're looking good. And now we can also VNav it too, right? Because we're all set up. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Pro status. Full screen cam. So I'm going to post something. Oh, Smoky Mountain, have a great flight. Thanks for the 11 months support, man. I'm sorry I missed your message back there during takeoff. Thank you again, Smoky Mountain Flight Sim. I appreciate you. I want to sample the chat here with a poll. Curious, what is the most popular sim right now? It's because we're doing a 2020 stream, so I'm curious what the viewers have to say. The Last Frontier, look at that. Turn the sim down a little more. Smoky Mountain says, I got triple monitors yesterday and 2020 runs good and 2024 is terrible. Uh-oh. What type of GPU are you running? Triple monitors might make things a little spicy if you're trying to do 2K or 4K. I think you're going to start... having some, if you don't have a powerful card, triple monitor setup is going to be spicy. Where's the FSX option? I almost put it in there, Diabetic Lad. I almost did. I want to move to 24, but I think I need a new GPU. What do you run, David Andrews? So, my 4080 Super with 16 gigs of RAM runs it fine until you fly the airplanes that aren't optimized, such as the default INI aircraft. I tend to have issues when streaming. I got to be honest with you, I haven't really flown my 4080 Super when I'm not streaming. That would alleviate some load, but it is of my opinion that 16 gigs of RAM is not, it should not be your goal for 2024. Your goal should be 24 gig minimum. If you're doing, especially if you're doing 2K, 4K. 1080p, that's a little bit different. Keep in mind, I'm doing everything in 2K, and I stream, so. Flooflap says, my 2080 Ti doesn't cut its potatoes down. Really, man? Gosh, that's a bummer. Well, you could, I mean, Flooflap, I mean, if you have a 2080 Ti, a 4080 Super would be a big upgrade for you. And I may be selling mine, we'll see. XTX when, Bill, it's out for delivery, my man. It's out for delivery. I did commercial flights in 2020 and mostly GA and messing around in 24. Okay, right on, Andre. We have United Friendship at home. Yeah, we have the United Friendship livery at home. Gosh, well, I wish we could bring back some retro liveries. I guess you can't, right, though, because you can't do bare metal anymore on the NGs. I guess you could on the NG, right? Then they would look different. And Frontier doesn't have 7.3s anymore. I just wish we had some heritage left. And, you know, American does a decent job of throwing on the heritage liveries on their modern Airbuses and their 737s. AMD's dead to... Well, it's dead to me, though, unless it can make up for it. If I can fly the 380 in 2024 with my AMD XTX, then I might convert. Yeah, I guess you're right, Andre. It does have bare metals on one of their NGs. I think they just didn't want to have two liveries, though. They wanted everything to be uniform. And when they started getting the 787, that's when they had to change from bare metal, because you can't have bare metal on a 787 because it's not metal. I think that's what prompted the whole changeover. Plus, they were in need of a new livery after the merger anyway.
Denver, traffic Delta 4116, turning left for base for visual approach, runway 34 right, Denver.
Roger that. Go get him, cowboy. We'll swap over to 22.8. Why did airlines move away from bare metal? Because the fuselage is all what is the? It's not monocoque. No, it's not monocoque. It's composite. The composite fuselage. So it's no longer metal. Now, the reason they went with brushed aluminum look is to save weight, save money. If you think about, we've talked about this before, think about a paint can, just 1 gallon of paint. Pretty heavy, right? Imagine painting an entire airplane. So multiply that times several hundred airplanes, times several thousand flights a day, every single day, it will add up. So it was one of the cost benefits of just going bare metal, brushed aluminum. Carbon fiber reinforced polymers, there you go, yeah. Turns out you can't do bare metal on planes made of plastic. True story, man. In Microsoft, 24 to 6 months from a to be stable. We'll see. When is that first sim update 1 beta patch supposed to be official? Ooh, that actually looks pretty good right there. Looks pretty good. Still pretty yellow though. See above for Zippy's hot take. Where's Zippy's hot take? That's too much info. If the sim can't run on, or that's too much in my opinion, if the sim can't run on 16, well, plenty of other games can run less on the sim, it's not the cards. That's a mediocre take, Zippy. Mediocre take. I think the problem, Zippy, is that we are, well, I mean, it should, Zippy, in a perfect world. You're right, it should. Sim update runs really good. INI default aircraft still have bugs, yeah. What GP are you getting now? Yeah, Ronald, it's so I ordered an XTX before they all sold out. So when my 5090 search didn't pan out, I still wanted to upgrade to 24 gigabytes of VRAM. So the only option was the XTX card. So, and I don't want to spend 4090s like too much for what they're offering. So I decided to go a fourth of the price of a 4090 and get an XTX with 24 gigabytes of VRAM, and we'll see how it turns out. If it gives me any issues, I will turn this computer into, I'll probably put some tannerite inside of the tower and go take some shots at it. This is my first AMD. This is my first AMD computer since like 2006 probably. Or early 2000s. Because I wanted... So my original disdain for AMD started... there was a game called Full Spectrum Warrior. It's like a third-person tactical squad control shooter. Not first-person, third-person tactical squad shooter, essentially. And I built this brand new PC back in the day, whenever that first came out, I don't even know, for that game. But I used AMD, and apparently it was not compatible with AMD. So after that, I said, you're dead to me. And I never ended up playing the game till, I guess, years later, I think I played it. But by that time, it was clapped out. No, Dylan, it's out for delivery today. The XTX is out for delivery today. Brad Ward, thank you so much for the 2 months support. I had the alert box here paused too. Let me go ahead and turn that back on so I don't miss anything. Brad Ward, very cool, man. Passed the PPL written. Loving the streams. Excellent, man. Well, you're well on your way to getting that PPL, man. Get those writtens done, and then you can focus on the actual, you know, the important parts. I think the writtens are the old school way of pretending like you know something, but when everybody started just, you know, using the latest meta to pass the test, it doesn't really, I don't think you learn that way on the written. I think, matter of fact, I don't think it would be a bad idea to just not have the written and do it like on your check ride, you have a 10-question written test from an examiner or from a question bank. Like maybe take 10 questions from the PPL written or 20 questions, but you have to take it during your practical exam with your examiner, and the examiner can pick those questions from the bank. I think that would be a better way than the way we do it now. So it's kind of a, so now you can, but the way it is now, focus on the flying and getting everything done. 4080 Super, 4080 Ti as well, 5080. Ooh, nice. When people want 8K textures, 4K resolution, 16 gigs will become an issue. Welcome to 2020s. That's it, Will. And that's exactly what's happening. You know, we want 8K, 4K stream. Absolutely right, man. Gosh, the straight wing, though, hits so hard. Look at that. Gosh, I love that straight wing. You know what? I don't know if Turk's still here, but the yellow kind of goes with the retro theme. Are we up to 40 yet? Geez, 39 for 400. The yellow sepia tune tone kind of, you know, makes it seem like I'm simming in 2002. You know, all the pictures of 2002. I feel like this bank is getting excessively sharper to the left. Okay. We're fine. I was just about to take control there. Written tests only prove you can memorize material long enough to pass the test. Doesn't prove you learned anything. 100% correct. Postcard sim. Just do the Mexico tour in 2020. Oh, that's funny, man. All right, altitude alert. We'll make sure we level here at 400. Maybe we should have the American-made filter. First time I watched that movie, I thought there was a problem with my TV. That would be cool, Phil. Do all of our America's tour under the American-made filter. Man, that trailer, that Nabil, man, I've watched that thing like 10 more times, dude. Probably more than that. It's so good. There's so many parts of it that are my favorite part. Like the way you time things up too, like the little nuances, like there's a little zinger in the music and there's a reflection off the cowling when the camera movement, and then when you set power and then there's that boom and then you go to outside view. It's just awesome, dude. So awesome. Vodka says I can do that with the filter, but only I will see it. Really? So if I guess you're right, because it would be a filter for my screen, not what I'm uploading to the stream. Is that what you're throwing down? I think I'm picking it up. Learjet 3 or Lear 35, welcome on the America's tour. Victor Silva, absolutely. If you all want to fly through the tour, you can fly whatever you want. Absolutely. Just be advised, the airports we pick may not be suitable for additional aircraft landing and takeoff performance. You get it on stream, you have to do post-processing in OBS. Yeah, and I could see that just taking more resources too, right? That might be kind of an issue. So how does Rex Atmos work then? Is that changing the core sim? Because when I streamed Atmos, everybody saw Atmos. I might look into that. Let's see. On the old Airbus 320 models, what are the red button on the backside of the throttle for? Red button on the backside. It's actually on the front side. If you're thinking thrust bump, there's a little guard here that is normally, if you look at thrust levers, there's a little guard there. There's a screw here, which means that if you have thrust bump installed, you would take that little plastic piece out and there would be the thrust bump switch. All right, we're level at flight level 400. We'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off. You are now free to move about the cabin. And let's take a look. We'll zoom this sucker out. Let's go to the progress page. Bozeman. Where's our distance to? Distance to go. top of descent. 395 miles. Excellent. Kind of want to vibe with this outside view. Oh, that's kind of a cool view right there. Actually, I forgot I have proper drone cam controls. I have a lot of little gripes with Microsoft 2024. One thing that really annoys me is all the default drone controls they changed. I got really good at manipulating the drone when I had practice with the keyboard, but now it's all different and I don't love it in 2024. I gotta figure out how to do it. Bring back cheat lines on liveries? Yes, I agree with you, man. Spacebar centers the view. Yeah, but it also straightens the view, and I like to have a little bit of roll on there. Give you the leans. I ended up changing my 2020 keyboard to 2024 bindings. It makes more sense because they're first-person shooter bindings. Really? Even for the drone cam? I've gotten used to the bindings in 2024 for everything else other than the drone cam. I have to keep going back to the 2020 keyboard. Oh, for the drone cam? Really, Flight Sim School? I'll have to play with it more. I haven't played with it much at all, but I'll have to mess with it. I mapped all the drone. Yeah, I could map all the drone controls. I just didn't want another USB stick installed, you know, or another USB port for another controller. Let me see what the poll's at. Wow, look at this. 52% of 237 votes. If you haven't voted, head over there and vote. I'm surprised it's that high. I'm surprised. I would have thought it would have been... Well, we also have the X-Plane 1112 in there. That's 10% of the vote. So... Still, it's beating it by over 12% of the... I mean, that's crazy. Almost still 50-50. I thought it'd be like 45. X-Plane 12 Nation standing tall. It is. Swarm, good to see you, my friend. Back in 2020 and no 727. I know. What's wrong with me? Yeah, but I wanted Borris. The reason, Swarm, the reason is because I was messing with the MD80, trying to get FT Sim sounds installed. And because I couldn't get the FT Sims installed, I was messing with the default sounds. And they hurt my ears so much that I had to, the only way to remedy myself was to get into a Borris Audio Works sound pack. I researched the CFM some time ago. Apparently they advertised that the airlines could use old engines from the 900s and use them on 600s by updating the FADEC to allow lower max EGT. Interesting. I wonder why the 600 never took off, you know, like is the 700 that much better? I don't know why. I don't know. The 600 just was never popular. I mean, I think it was a couple of 135 operators had them in the States. With Swift Air, they were 400s. Did anybody have 600s in the States? I don't know. Too small, a 318 essentially. Maybe, yeah, kind of phased out. Maybe Barry finds a 727 somewhere in the jungle in Honduras to use to get us to Cartagena, maybe. Janet, that's it? Wow. Continental 73500, my beloved, yeah. I like the 735. The 5 was shorter than the 3, right? If I'm not mistaken. The 500 was shorter than the 300. 500 straight wing Southwest, man. Flap sounds. The 618, I believe, simply offer too poor fuel performance for their capacity at the point the RJ is more profitable. That would make sense, positive rate. That would make sense. Absolutely right. I told you all the other day, you know, a 320 CEO, we were burning 2,800 pounds a side in cruise. So a CEO, 2,800 a side. What is that? That's, call it 6 minus 4, 5,400 pounds an hour. Is that right? Math. A 320, and we weren't even full, mind you. Weren't even full. Classic 320, 2,800 pounds aside, not even full. A fully loaded A321 Neo, over 200 passengers. What did I say it was? 2,300 aside? 2,300 aside in cruise. That's a 500 pound, that's 1,000 pounds an hour difference. That's insane. Now, I think we might have been a little higher in the 321, but still. Even if it was 700 pounds an hour difference, you multiply that by thousands of airplanes, thousands of flights every day. Insane. Harry, yeah, I can't turn the gear off because of the my gear lever binding. It's stuck in the up position. We'll be fine, though. We'll survive. Ultra Swift, welcome to Private Pilot. Glad to have you on board, my friend. Ooh, this is kind of a hot view right there. Is that Salt Lake down there? No. I don't know where that is. This is definitely a retro vibe color palette out here. Everything's so yellow. How were the ribs? Oh, man. Migs, good to see you, my man. So, yeah, yesterday, excellent game. Love to see the downfall of the cheat refs. It's just, I keep getting reminded. Pride comes before the fall, man. Like, the Chiefs, when they first got to the Super Bowl, it was about a hometown team, dedicated fan base, really good players, doing really good things and being really humble. Then they got there twice. Then they got there 3 times. I think they missed a year. And then it started to become, they just became super, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of humble. And man, I was smiling to see them get slapped. At one point, the Eagles had 24 points. The Chiefs had 14 yards in the second half. 24 points, the Chiefs had 14 yards. I loved every minute of it. As far as the food went, it was great, man. The tri-tip was the hit, actually. So I had 2 tri-tips. I sliced all but like maybe, I don't know, maybe a third of one of them. Because I'm like, surely we're not going to eat all this tri-tip. Man, it was, I went back in there and it was all gone. Except the little part that I didn't slice up. So I imagine if I sliced up that part, it would have been gone too. But yeah, homemade chimichurri sauce and some tri-tip. Was delicious. Ribs right. My buddy made a Reuben like dip bake. Oh my gosh, it was good, man. That was really good too. How much of a difference do winglets make on the pilot? Not much, Corwin. Not much. You'll feel a little bit of difference when mostly when it comes down to the flare in the Airbus. You'll feel the energy dissipation sometimes, depending on the situation, and it's mostly right around the flare. That's when you're going to notice the most difference. I've talked about that in length on some other Airbus streams. Arrogant, yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Prideful, yep. Blackbird says douche is acceptable. Went brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and brisket chili cheese dip. Oh, man, that sounds good, Bo. Halftime show was boring. I couldn't even hear it. Yeah, I was like, I didn't have, like, man, Kendrick Lamar, like, all right, man, cool. Here's, I have a hot take. The best Super Bowl, I'm actually going to say the best Super Bowl, including the halftime show. Definitely the best Super Bowl halftime show and Super Bowl combo that I've watched in my adult life. Okay, we're not going back to 1963 like full flap sim. But in my adult life, the best Super Bowl was, I forget the year, it was the Seahawks and the Patriots, and they had the Eye of the Tiger chick. She walked into the stadium on a giant tiger. They threw a pick on the 1 yard line. They should have just given it to Marshawn. Whatever year that was, in my opinion, the best Super Bowl of my adult life still. And definitely the best Super Bowl halftime show that I've witnessed, that I remember. Katy Perry, yes. Yeah. I mean, she walked into the stadium on a freaking tiger, man. It was amazing. A huge, like, 3D tiger. It was awesome. Great halftime show. And, I mean, what a game. And I was pulling for the Seahawks. They're all the way down to the last minute of the game. They're about to score a touchdown and win. You've got Marshawn Lynch, who's averaging like 50 yards a carry. You're on the 1 yard line. It's 1st and goal. They throw a pass and it's intercepted at the goal line. Game over. Left Shark, MVP. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. By the way, if you brake hard enough, you can hear the bag sliding in the Borris sound pack. We're going to test it, Harry. Tell you what, let's test that. We'll lock up the brakes today in Bozeman if it's not snowing. As a Patriots fan, I completely agree. Loved every drunken minute of it. Nice. The one that stands out was Super Bowl 9 or after 9/11 with U2. A lot of that one, 2001. So it would have been 2002, right? Because it was right after 9/11. With U2, there was a lot of motion on that Alloper. Yeah, you're right. There was. Did you make the cream cheese? Jeremy, I didn't because it wouldn't save if we took it. I missed a couple super chats. I'm going back here. AJ, thanks for the $3 super chat. I hope the Chiefs get the Cowboys treatment. Me too, man. Hey, at least you and I, we agree on something there. That would be nice to see them get the Cowboys treatment. Migs, thanks for a $7 Canadian. Do you think the Chiefs are still the best team to beat, or is Philly the dynasty? Here's the thing, Migs. Here's the problem with dynasties in pro football in the NFL is because every year things change so much. Like, you have a Super Bowl appearance, or even not even. Look at the Lions, right? Look at the Lions. They were building a dynasty. They came from the worst of the worst, and they have a really successful year, and they just get picked out. The coaches go, assistant coaches go head coaches, position coaches go to assistant coaches. It's such a massive transformation after the end of each year that it's much more challenging to make a dynasty as opposed to like the real true dynasty you could think of is Bill Belichick. That's why what the Patriots did was so incredible. Because of it didn't matter who they had. They could have a roster of backups with Tom Brady and Belichick, and they were winning football games. You think of Alabama, the Crimson Tide, college a little bit different, right? Not so much changes every year, especially before. Now it's different. Now college is basically a mini NFL, but before the trading thing in college football, you had loyalty and you were able to build a dynasty. I think for me it was Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg that it was fun, but those shows always come across as excessive to me. Yeah, they always do. People tune in just for the halftime show. I'm like, okay, that's the time to go to the bathroom. Did you know there are more toilets flushed at Super Bowl during the halftime than any other time of the year? I remember I read a stat about that. Yeah, Buckeye Fly, I'm with you, man. 2013. I used the pic of Richard Sherman's face after the interception as my background at work for a long time. Then the Niners picked him up. Nice, Key 6. As a Brit, I think the idea of a halftime show is so weird. It's time to grab another 4 beers and give your expert opinion on what your team needs to... Exactly, Harry. See? I'm with you, man. I am with you. They got to plan the sewage system to handle that. I know it, right? 1993, best halftime ever. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember that one. Prince halftime show was the greatest ever, and I'm not even a huge Prince. Yeah, I remember Prince, the halftime show. What was the one? I want to say it was maybe early 2000 teens. There was like a rock band. Was it Kiss? That came back and did a halftime. There was like an old school rock band that came back and did a halftime show, and I was like, man, I thought these guys were gone, like 6 feet under gone. Was it Rolling Stones? Might have been Rolling Stones, actually. Yeah, Rolling Stones. Janet's Boob was a good show too. Well, key 6. I know, of course, that's the one where I actually got up and went and got something to drink. Can we talk about the score box that Fox was using? Dude, I thought it was a joke at first. Not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty terrible. Alright, how are we looking? 287. Once we hit 250, we're gonna plan our approach. We'll update our weather. We'll go back to work here. I missed it live, Keith. I had it on, but I missed it live, yeah. I mean, I saw it after, obviously. Wasn't gonna miss out, but yeah, I missed it live. Telemundo had the package where they were using all season and it looked all fine. Really? I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. It was too broken up. Bring back the old school one where it was like a little square box in the upper left-hand corner. Now I sound like one of those old guys. Oh, back in my day, the score box was in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Thoughts on United Aviate? Man, go for it, dude. I know a couple of people in United Aviate. If you can get in, it sounds like a pretty good deal. Those types of programs and stuff weren't available when I was going through flight training, but I'll tell you what, I mean, if I was going through, and I've said this before too, if I was starting now, my goal is to become an airline pilot, I would try to get into one of those flight schools that have programs like that, such as United Aviate, Republic, Lift Academy. I know Envoy's got some for American. Any type of school that's going to give you a pathway program, that would be, in my opinion, the way I would go about it now. My day was the 1970s. They didn't even have score boxes. What'd you do, Tony John? Just I have to write it down? Everybody write down the score? Have you ever chartered sports teams? Yeah, I have. Yeah, BKG. Yeah, I've done some sport. I did a lot of charters when I was doing 190 contract stuff. That was did a lot of sports charters. Delta Propel, that's another one. Yeah, full flap. I don't know if you're locked through. I think full flap. So I think it depends on the academy or on the program. I think in the case of some of them, maybe Delta Propel is one where like if you're in that program, you can't get hired outside of it. So like that particular airline, you wouldn't be able to get hired, but you could still apply to other airlines like United or American, whatever. So you have your fallback piece. That's what I would say. You've got your fallback piece to go through the program, but still apply to go elsewhere. Don't just sit on the, for example, even United Aviate. Like if you're in the United Aviate program, I wouldn't just not apply to anywhere else. I would apply to the other airlines too, to see what happens faster. Because at the end of the day, in 121 airline flying in the United States, the number one goal is to get that seniority number as fast as you can get it. That's really all that matters, okay? Now, you have to look at what makes your resume stand out in front of everyone else's resume so you can get that seniority number. But that end goal should be like, okay, we got to get a mainline seniority number as quick as I can. How can I accomplish that? Whether that go through a puppy mill, go through like an ATP flight school and still work on your degree if you can do it. It's a lot of workload. It's hard to do, but it's going to help expedite things, right? It's all about getting that seniority number. Thoughts on the Unibuilds 350? Mark, I watched the rest of it, or most of the rest of it yesterday, or this morning rather, last night into this morning. I watched some too. It's cool, man. The 350 is a hell of an airplane. It just reminds me of like how fast we're going to be going single pilot, because the emergency descent, what is it, the pressurization? I mean, it just starts doing it. Even if you pass out, it does it for you. It's just so crazy, man. The advancements in technology are insane. We are going to be going single pilot, I guarantee it, in the next, I would say in the next 20 years, you're going to see single pilot passenger operations. Now, will you see it in the U.S.? I think you'll see it in cargo first in the U.S. You're going to see it in Europe first, guarantee. And it's going to start with augmenting crew not being required anymore. So you're going to have two pilots go 18-hour flights because they're both going to get up and leave the duty station or one's going to leave the duty station first and rest, and then everything will be AI assisted. You'll have like a dispatcher on the ground will be controlling the flight, or they'll have the ability to interface with the aircraft from the ground. I guarantee you, mark my words right now, that's going to be the first start of it, is going to be getting rid of augmented crews. Because that's a lot of money to pay pilots to just sit there and sleep, okay? They want to get rid of that. So that'll go first, and then you'll probably see some implementation in cargo operations. Amazon might be part of it. You'll be seeing little small freight companies. I think there's even one in Alaska, right? Someone said, there's Full Flap says, yeah, Caravan doing pilotless cargo. Exactly, that's what I was thinking of. It is Alaska. Okay, so there's a Caravan that does pilotless cargo right now in Alaska already. A Caravan, y'all. A Caravan, it was designed in like 1980. So think about the new designs of airplanes that are coming out. You're going to have all electric airplanes that are pilotless doing little cargo, Amazon cargo. It's just going to be so mid. The future is now, and it doesn't look awesome for airline pilots, if I'm being completely honest with you. Even just in general, airplanes that we fly now, all the new airplanes, they're so mid, you know? 777, 78, 350. It's all about fuel efficiency, being quiet. Back in the day, 747-200, just dumping fuel, loud, DC-8, running on diesel. Now, obviously, there has to be change, but I think loud. I think airplanes should be loud and fast. But, ooh, look at our great clouds. See how gray and ashy they are. It looks like you left your mashed potatoes out for 2 days, and they kind of get that hardness, but not really. Kind of a crust starts to form on them. That's what they look like. 2024, goated. Amazing how much bottom line takes the fun out of life. I hear you, Zippy. I hear you. Andy Boyce says, from a security standpoint, how do you secure the flight deck with only one pilot? Right now it's mandatory for 2 to be on all deck. Yeah, Andy Boyce. There'll be overrides. There'll be ground overrides. There'll be ground overrides. Andy, is that also true for Europe? I thought that was only a U.S. thing. I thought Europe you could have one person in the flight deck. I mean, they changed that after German wings, right? I'm sure that'll be the least of their worries, man. $707. There you go. I meant to say 707, Mickey G. My bad. How can I leave out the 707? 707. That was my mom's favorite airplane. So she was a flight attendant for Pan Am, and her favorite airplane was a 707. So I remember when I was playing flight sims, I wanted a 707 with the big boom thing on the tail. I don't know if it was a pitot tube or whatever it was, but I always thought it looked pretty cool. Europe, you can have one. They changed it back to the old school way. There you go. That doesn't concern you, ground overrides? Certainly wouldn't want cyber attacks and airplanes. Mac, no, you're absolutely right. It does concern me, and it will open up that window. You're absolutely right. But that's just, here's the thing, Mac. The chance of that happening is small enough that the powers that be will rather line their pocketbooks with a better bottom line and accept that risk. Because at the end of the day, the CEO of Boeing does not care at all who lives or dies on his airplanes. Let's be realistic. And I say Boeing because it's the most recent. You could probably say the same for any major airline manufacturer out there. All they care about is protecting shareholder value and lining their pockets with an acceptable level of risk. And the risk, when you weigh the risk scale, like you go, risk is in one side of the scale. What's on the other side of the scale? Money. How would a single pilot handle multiple systems failure? Jeremy, he or she won't have to do anything. They'll just sit there and monitor the automation. Insert 350 dual engine failure. You sit there, you watch it do its thing, you like re-engage the autopilot. And it will motor, it will do the windmill start, it'll pick an alternate for you. The technology's already here, Jeremy. It's already here. Already here. Depends on the operator. In the UK, we have 2 people, but one can be cabin crew, so a pilot can step out for a moment. Can't just have one person in there all alone, though. I gotcha. That's how it is here, too. Companies call it value versus risk. Yep. An American 737 from Austin to Charlotte delayed on Friday because a passenger had a hotspot named I Have a Bomb. Yeah, real smart for that passenger. What's the thing now where somebody was saying in the Discord that you're not allowed to film airplanes anymore at airports? Is there truth to that? I was so busy yesterday with everything that was going on, I couldn't really pay attention to the Discord, but I was reading you guys were talking about they're banning plane spotting or live feeds from plane spotting, something like that. If that is true, that's sucks. Garmin Smart Glide, but airliners. Yep, Felix, you're right. O'Hare banned it only in Chicago. What about LA? They banned it in Chicago? Why would they ban it in Chicago? I like looking for myself on the live streams. LA's still good? Alright. Aviation has painfully slowed innovation and implementation. We'll see how long it takes. Yeah. Vodka says, first implementation will be with 2 pilots confirming what the remote wants to do, then with 1 pilot in the cockpit, then 1 pilot monitoring, then no pilot eventually. Yep, I'm right there with you. Or get this team. How about this, y'all? Imagine a flight attendant. They won't call them flight attendants anymore. They'll be called, it'll be a cabin member assistant or something, and they're qualified to intervene if the automation does something wrong. So you'll have a cabin assistant member who will assist in evacuations and or assist in the flight deck. If all the automation goes wrong, they can have a passcode or something. Onboard crew member. There you go. Migs, thank you for the 14 Canadian, my man. Appreciate you. We'll end up with one of those Tesla robots in the jump seat that slaps the living daylight at a Mr. Lonely board pilot when they try to touch anything in the cockpit. Yep. Migs, I agree with you, man. I've seen the 737, what is it, the 737 AIFO thing? Yep. Onboard flight op chief. Or yeah, it'll be something like that. A flight assistant. Thanks again, Migs. Appreciate you. Yeah. All right. We probably should start thinking about our approach and descent here. It's coming up rapidly. So, turn up the sounds a little bit. Cruising along these snow-capped mountains. I should do this flight in 24 to see what it looks like. Okay. Arrival, airport, Bozeman, airport. Wrong button. Airport page. Here's the 10-9. How do I get some ATIS for Bozeman? I don't know if there is a way to get weather off of this, is there? Oh yeah, weather, arrival. Beautiful. Ooh, 3 miles, light snow, broken 3,400, overcast 4,400, winds 300 at 9. Ooh, should we take the tailwind? Broken 3,400 feet. So if I look at the approaches, runway 30 RNAV gets us 418. I think we can do this. Should we try an RNAV in the 737? This makes me scared. RNAV 737 or land with a tailwind? Because it's 30, right? Yeah. Land with a tailwind on 1-2 or RNAV it. RNAV it. We got the RNAV Yankee. RNAV Zulu is probably what we want. And we could take it straight in probably off Pugly. Let's do the RNAV Zulu off Pugly. Alright, so let's come down here. We're going to do some modifications. Departure, arrival. RNAV Zulu 30. Poogie. Execute. And legs. Let's go direct to Poogie now. Execute. Yeah, I'll probably need to start down soon. We'll scroll this down. Hold on, I like seeing the turn. Oh, that looks cool. Man, what a retro vibe on this livery. The more I look at this livery, the more I like it. It's almost like a cross between, I almost want to say Piedmont or Allegheny colors. Man, what a vibe on this livery, though. All right, Poogie's at 12, so let's scroll in 12. I can use my Bravo for that. Scroll in 12 thou. Now, I don't know how to really do RNAVs in this thing. I'm going to figure it out together. 12,000 is set. We don't have to do any course adjustments or anything like that. The minimums for the RNAV Alpha, are we RMP1 or 0.3? Let's take the most conservative. We'll call it 4885. 4885. So we'll come here. We'll go Barrow Mins. We'll hold this for 5 minutes. Okay, wait. Surely you don't have to hold this down for 4 minutes. Don't mind me, I'm scrolling in my minimums. They gotta put this on the pre-descent checklist. Oh no! Okay, thought I lost it. I missed the Duke too. I got a stall while trying to air return, maybe unreliable airspeed anyway. Oh yeah, Sam, we were talking about that the other day. They frozen pitot tube or something? Which is crazy, because that's not the first time a 330's had a frozen pitot tube. Insert Air France 447. Oh my gosh. Something keeps happening where, like, my screen flickers. I wonder what's going on. I think it might be frame gen wigging out. Wow, I would not do RNAV approaches just so I don't have to do this with high barrows. Now, what was it? That's 4085. It's 4806, 4885. Almost 5,000 feet. Why not use radio altimeter? Because you wouldn't use it on an RNAV. I don't know. Full flap, would you use it on? Do you use the rad out? We never use rad out unless we're doing Cat 2 or 3. I don't know if it's different on this dinosaur of an airplane here. 4885. Yeah, you see that? Something's happening with my screen. Alright, 4885 is set. It's way easier than the jet. It's a toggle switch and it goes by hundreds. It goes by tens. Oh. Okay, yeah, so it's just the implementation of it. They got to make it so it goes faster. That'd be a cool little feature. Quality of life improvement in 2024 if they could make that work. We're going to do flaps 4 because why not? Flaps 4, 122 plus 5. Call it 127. Is that how that works, I think? 127 is set. 113.7 on the gross weight. Our bottom altitude is 12,000. That is set. We don't need any LS or courses or anything like that. We don't have an arrival chart, so we don't need to worry about that. CTAF should be 18.2. And if it's any other frequency, I don't care because on the chart it says 18.2 and CTAF is dumb. So here we go. 18.2 is set. And our bottoms are set for 12. Fuel check, we're 7,000 total. We're looking good. We'll spin the heading bug around. Sync that up. And since we are going to be descending over terrain in IMC, we'll have the terrain up as well. All right. That's a pretty cool view right there. Imagine this in 2024. Rad out is just Cat 2 for us as well. Cool. 2 or 3. Yep. Had some yard work that needed done. What'd I miss? Zach, what's going on, man? Nothing, dude. We're just talking retro airliners and how the future is ruining aviation. What would you say if one of your kids wanted to be a pilot? I would say, well, that's cool. How about a doctor? No, I don't know. Whatever they want to be, man. But in my opinion, so I'll take my son who's 2. I do not think my job he will not be able to live out my career to 65. I don't think the job will be there for him. I think my career is safe all the way to 65. Probably if you're 30 and older, I think you're set to go to 65. In the U.S., this major caveat, in the United States, flying passenger airliners. But if you're younger than 30, in my opinion, there's a really good chance you're either going to be sitting up there alone for the second part of your career, or it's going to look completely different and it's nothing like we imagined. Part 91 135 Swarm, that's different. That's a tough one, because the thing is, you're going to have now the problem if you start introducing automation, right? How are you going to implement it where you still have the human factor on other airplanes? Because not everybody is going to immediately be flying single pilot, right? It doesn't work that way. So there's a couple things. I think number one, they're going to force you out of it by pricing it out of range. So the insurance premiums for owning a Part 91 or for having your own jet, or the insurance for Part 135 with human factors is going to skyrocket to the point at where it's going to squeeze them out to make a change. Now, does that change look like removing pilots and buying corporate jets that don't have pilots in them? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I think it's going to be a lot different than what we're looking at right now. So if I'm 25, I'm good till 60? Yeah, I think you'd be good till 60 now. But like I said, positive rate, you might be slinging gear up there by yourself when you're 50 years old. Well, Sam, here's the thing. The pilotless stuff will be more expensive, exactly. But they're going to force you out of the old school way. Just this is how they're going to get rid of gas vehicles, too. The insurance on a car. Okay, you want to... Yeah, we won't take it away from you. You can have a diesel truck, but here's the thing. We're going to charge you $25 a gallon for diesel, and your insurance has just increased 15x to have a diesel. Now, you can go buy this really expensive Cybertruck, but you won't have to pay these insurance premiums. That's how you enforce mass change. You squeeze it out of the population. That's my opinion. Interview with Mormon Air Force coming up. Matthew Sommers. Hey, man. Be yourself. Be prepared. And if you don't know the answer to a question, that's okay. Just be able to explain where you'd find that answer. That's my interview advice for you. Look at Washington State, $25,000 to deposit with the government required to own a firearm. New law coming. We aren't banning anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, full flap's exactly right. Exactly right. This actually looks pretty dang good right here. We still have people driving garbage trucks, to be fair. Sam, because of unions. That's why. Pretty sure those guys are all unionized government jobs, right? I still think pilots will exist for a long time. Just might look different from the job. Yeah. Yeah, there will still be pilots. Then there will still be pilots, but we don't even know what it'll look like. That's what's crazy. It's going to look like something that we don't even really know. Because I think when we talk pilotless airplanes, we think, oh, you're going to have a 737-800NG or a 737 MAX with one pilot, and that's it. No, it's going to be different. There's going to be the advancement. Just look at the Airbus A350. If you both pass out up there from a cabin pressurization, the airplane will land itself. Think about that. So if that's already available now, what is the next iteration of Boeing? At some point, Boeing's going to have to stop making 737s. At some point, they're going to move on from the 737 and they're going to have a new design. And I guarantee you, it's going to be optimized for either single pilot operations or a reduced workload operation. But it's not going to be, you have to get rid of that mental picture of like, oh, A320 with one pilot up there. No, it's going to be completely different. It's going to look different. Different engines, probably. Different fuel. It'll be very interesting. That's what you think. When the last spaceship is flowing the boneyard, a 737 is going to ferry the crew home. I don't disagree with you there. It probably will be a 737. I always thought low-cost carriers would find a way to make the pilots lay in the cargo hold and replace the cockpit with more seats. UltraSys and the FAA just announced they're in the process of updating the name of Gulf of America and Mount McKinley on all charts. Man, I've flown over the Gulf of America twice, and both captains made PA saying it was the Gulf of America. I thought it was pretty funny. I might just call it Gulf of Texas. Migs, thanks for another 14 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Imagine if the pilots of the future just have to sit in front of what looks like a flight sim, but it's actually a remote intervention for a real aircraft when something goes wrong with onboard AI. And Migs, that's where my head's at. I think that's more likely, Migs. I think it's going to be your dispatcher. What we call dispatchers today, I think are going to have. Look at drones. Think about drones. Think of the Predator drones, Reaper drones, how they're operated from a freaking Connex box on the other side of the world. If you can operate a drone and put a Hellfire through a freaking window on the other side of the world with some dude just sipping on coffee in a Connex box in Las Vegas, just think what the next 20 years is going to look like. So, it's coming. Do we know when? No, but the only thing we do know is that it is coming. The timeline is going to be, and the timeline may shift too. Who knows? Because just wait, you'll have a single pilot freight plane or cargo plane, and God forbid, there's a catastrophic accident, right? Okay, now what's going to happen? Now there's going to be more regulation. Things are going to slow down. Timelines may shift, right? So it's not. I'm not saying in 20 years there's going to be no pilots. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's also subject to change on this timeline. There could be some new technology that comes out, makes flying completely different. Key 6, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Says cockpit of the future is a pilot and a dog. Pilot is there to feed the dog. Dog bites the pilot if they touch anything. Yep. Yes, sir. Work from home pilots. Yeah. Now that would be ultra swift. Now here's the thing. How cool would it be if right now this was a real airplane? So I'm flying a real airplane with real passengers right now. Imagine that. I'm doing it on my flight sim. It's not flight sim. This is real. And you have views that when I pan around, I can inspect the aircraft, different views. I can check surfaces, the tail. This could be real right now. Magic Bell ref is set. We're out of 18,000 feet. This terrain is looking awfully large up here. I think we're okay, though. All right, we're on the descent down VNAV path. We're slowing up. And then V1 loses internet connection. I know. Let me get flight recorder ready. Oh, I don't think flight recorder is going to work, y'all. I don't think flight recorder is going to work, but I'll try. Because remember we tried this? I don't have it set up for 2024. Or 2020, rather. Because 2024 is GOAT Sim. So, we'll see what happens here. Listen, if you ain't clacking, you're slacking, man. No, we're not going to Boise next. I don't know. I may do Tour de Americas. Here's the thing. We might have to the Tour de Americas stream. We might do sooner than later because I need to go home and play with my new toy that I picked up today. So, I mean, I guess I could do it in the dark because I'll be quiet like a wabbit. So I guess it doesn't matter what time I get home. We'll see. I might have to up the time of that America's stream. We'll do Lake 2. It's scheduled for 5 p.m. We might do it at 4 p.m. V1 demonstrates something and wonders why he can't rewind to flight. Rewind flight recorder. Yeah, Matty K, it's going to be beautiful. You fly up here right now. What airport's that? What did we just fly over? That looks like a runway. Definitely a runway. Cool little river in there. Gosh, this is beautiful retro stream. I'm flying like it's 1999. It looks exactly like 1999 too. Altitude alert, 12,000. Speed, let's do speed intervene. Rip it back. Oh, dang it. That doesn't happen to me very much in 2024. Let's set 180. Can we arm the approach? FAC glide path armed. We need some speed brake action. Am I still getting stutters in the Duke? Charles, I didn't have any yesterday. So, we did not have any stutters yesterday. Alright, final approach course. Final approach course. Glide path is armed. Missed approach altitude is 10,000 feet. Missed approach 10,000 feet is set. I'm trying to slow down. I'm going to try to start the recording. Okay. I might be recording. We'll see. I have the recording running. It's picking up PMDG 73600 Frontier Airlines. It might be working. No promises, though. We'll see. What's a flaps 5 speed? 250? Or below that. Let's go flaps 5. We're going to slow down. Man, the last 7-3 I was on coming into Dallas, they were doing this. They had the boards out. So whenever the last minute is to have the boards out, they had them out. Adding flaps right at the VNE limit or VFE limit because there's a big... They were fast all the way down, which I appreciated. It was go-home day. But
2,500.
They didn't arrest that descent rate at all upon impact. All right, that's on, that's on, that's on. Boom, boom. Pressurization looks good. Blackbird says, I almost have the 777 flaps and speed brakes finished. Ooh, man. Well, I'll tell you what. I've been keeping 2020 around for one thing. That's the Bluebird 757. But I'll tell you what, Blackbird, it will be for 777 controls as well. And or your I'm really curious to see your flap spoiler lever. All right, we're looking good now. Let's go flaps 10. No, we're not landing flaps 15. This isn't a full flap sim stream. If you want to see a flap 15 landing, please do check out Full Flap Sim, buddy of the channel. Kind of knows what he's talking about. But don't let the name scare you. He lands flap 15 almost every time, so even though it's called Full Flap Sim. Should we do max auto brakes? I feel like that'll cause us to... Let's do auto brake 2. Sync our heading bug up. Man, I had to lose my mind having to sync my heading bug up every time the airplane turned. Bozeman traffic, Frontier Flight 357. We're out of 8,200 feet, descending via the RNAV 1 runway 30. Bozeman traffic. That's the wrong freak. We're going to be at 18.2. Bozeman traffic, Frontier Flight 357 out of 8,000 feet, descending on the RNAV for runway 30 Bozeman. Compare auto brakes to Airbus medium. All right, for purposes, let's do it. Max brakes. Can you, so is max authorized for in-flight? I guess so. We'll try max. Auto brake 2 is mid in the 737. Okay, we'll go max. We're going to hear the bag shift. All right, so 4,500 is the field elevation. We'll add 2, call it 6,500 feet. At 6,500, we'll configure full flap gear down. Oh, that looks nice. I will say, as much as I love the Airbus, I've said it before, 737 wing flaps are better. They're just more fun to look at, especially straight wing. Like this, just looks cooler in my opinion. Especially when we drop it to 40. Sounds up all the way. Here we go. Sounds are up. Here comes 6,500 feet. What is ours? What do we say? It's 127. Gear down. Spoilers arm. Runway. Flap 25. I'm going to do a lot of this from the wing view just in case we don't have a replay. Speed checks, flaps 40, landing checks. Oh my gosh, I love that flap 40. They need some flap shake. Need some flap shake. Oh, listen to the engines trying to maintain it. Oh, that looks so good. What an incredible sound pack, man. So clean. All right, let's hand fly. Autopilot's coming off. I'll tell you what, let's go flight directors off. And I have the auto thrust bound. Let's match and mash. Auto thrust is bound. Auto throttle is off. Runway's in sight. We are landing. I'm an Airbus pilot, so give me the bird, please. Bird is set. I'd be curious if Flight Navy ever uses the bird in the 7.3. Gosh, that looks awesome. Looks like the weather kind of clearing up a little bit for us here. Bozeman traffic, Frontier 347, short final 30, Bozeman. I bet this would look epic in 24, the way the clouds are right now.
Approaching minimums. 300. Minimums.
Feel a little bit high.
200.
Correcting.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Check. Close. Hold the attitude. Hold it. Bata. First screen. Binding conflict. Jeez. Manual brakes. Decel. My back. Oh, get out of here, Mickey G. Man, that thing stopped quick. I don't think that was a smasher. Come on, man. I don't think that was a smasher. Let's go ahead and stop recording. I think our recording worked, y'all. I think our recording worked. Let's bring the flaps up for sim purposes. Bozeman traffic, Frontier 357, clear of 30 taxi ramp, Bozeman. My head just went into the front seat. Yeah, no, it did. If you were not seated and stowed for that, you are now having issues. That was a rapid deceleration. I missed the whiskey throttle wings on that Metrojet livery. Let's park right next to this orange Airbus here.
Working traffic, northwest and 14 short final runway 304 center.
Looks like there's a northwest behind us. There he is. Brake set. Now, I may not be able to see other traffic. I thought I had it. I see one default to Dobo. I don't see anybody out there. May not pick them up. Apparently my alt was on a flight that touchdown didn't slow down for half the runway, then everyone headbutted the seats in front. Yeah. I've been a part of those. Trying to make that last exit. May or may not have allegedly done that the other night, trying to make the planned exit DFW, but it's all good. I don't see anybody. I think my traffic is still messed up. I don't see who I'm supposed to see. But what I will do is I'll leave the camera here, so let's go ahead and detach the camera from the airplane. Do that. I'll go back to this view. Disconnect from my Veo Premium. We will go into replay camera. We'll launch the replay. Let's just see what happens. Hey! We'll let everything load in here. Chris, it's a wannabe 737-200, man. This is a wannabe 737-200. So Frontier had 737-200s in this livery. We're just trying to, relive the past, man. This is a 600 though. This is the PMDG 73600. Ooh, that looks cool there. Look at that. That's a beautiful shot. That looks good in the sim. Man. All right, let's go ahead and just run it forward. Let's go here. We'll have a nice long replay for the end. That end replay will be sweet. We'll watch the whole approach. I'll give you guys the whole approach with sail on at the end there. That'll look really cool. Does Iveo have a premium version? Allegedly. It's the V1 version. Ronald James. The sounds are spot on, Nabil, aren't they? All right, let's see how we did here. Full flap is down. Flap 40 landing and a 600, baby. Man, great. That looks good. I always thought that the PMG was out. I guess when you zoom in, maybe it looks a little outdated, but not really, man. Looks good. That wing looks good. Hang on. Nabil, I don't know how you did that one view, but you in that trailer video, you zoomed in or you floated down through the tail of the Duke when it was on final. It's so sick, man. Freaking awesome. It literally looks better than a real movie trailer, man. You should send that to, well, I don't think they make Dukes. I know they don't make Dukes anymore. Send it to some salesman. Sell a Duke. 73200 for X-Plane 11. That is true. Here, one for, I still have X-Plane 12 installed. And I'm hoping one of these days we'll see a FlyJSim update for X-Plane 12, and maybe then I'll take another spin in it. But yeah, I love the FlyJSims. The FlyJSim stuff was my black square stuff to me in 2024. I love the FlyJSim stuff in X-Plane 11. Awesome. Maintenance, everything. All right, let's see how it looked from here. Oh, I need to arm the spoilers. There we go, armed. Hold it off. Check close. I don't think that was a smasher. I think think I need to leave my reversers open, maybe, and then on the replay it'll work. Let's see.
Don't sink. Nope.
Let's see how it looks. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's go to this cam right here. Here we come. Let's see. Outside view. Remember the X-Plane 8 days? I don't actually. I got into X-Plane on X-Plane 10, and then I shelved it, and then at Q8 Pilot made some videos about X-Plane 11, and then that's when I converted full on to X-Plane 11. The Fearless 7.4, I know, Harry. I watch Flightdeck to Sim fly that thing. Every time he flies that 7.4, it makes me want to jump on X-Plane. Best airplane in X-Plane 12 is no questions asked, the Fearless 7.4. So I write it down. I think it was a little bit high, not crazy though. Look at that. Check. Close. Oh, come on. For flaps 40? Dang. I'm basically typed on the 737. Come on now. Come on. Where's full flap at? Full flap landing challenge when? I believe the last time he did a full flap landing, he did like a minus 480. I'll tell you what, let's wind it back one more time. Let me launch G's. I don't know if G's will configure. I'll resume replay. Let me see if I can launch G's. Alright, G's is up. I have to go, I think, back to this cam, and I have to go here and here. Maybe it'll work. Let's see. 250 at best, says FSX Legend. 182. Suck it, man. Go back to your FSX. 182 in a 600. It flaps 40. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, hold on. I want to go. Oh, we just crashed because I was. Hold on. There's a replay. Another 182 on that one too. So it's, I think it's legit. That is. Let's do. Let's watch Dougal McTavish view back here. Full flap says it's a pretty good flap 40 landing. There we go. See, I'm officially typed now on the 737. As soon as this comes into 2024, we'll learn proper full flap techniques. Check. Close. Just hold the attitude. Could have held it a little bit more. That was a 179 according to G's. Hey. And then enter the can't maintain center line. All right. Pause it. I'm going to wind it all the way back. I'm going to put this up. Hold on. No.
Sync rate.
Nope. Sync rate. Check. Bank angle check.
2,500.
Sails coming up. All right. This is going to be a sweet replay for y'all, and you're going to see this one. So, put the gear back up. I don't hold the gear yet. All right, y'all. I'll leave you with one replay back into Bozeman. Thank you, Borris Audio Works, for saving my eardrums, getting my ears back to proper. Being able to fly this airplane helped me recover from the MD-80 default sounds I was messing with. Thank you, PMDG, for making a wingletless 600 version. If you want to release that 7.4 Classic anytime soon, it would be very much appreciated, because I can't wait to see what they're cooking on that 7.4. But, all right, y'all. I'm out for now. This has been a lot of fun. I think we'll do a weather check. I'll get some lunch. We'll do a weather check, flight plan. I'm going to try to move up the America's Tour stream an hour, maybe around 4 o'clock. We'll see. So, be looking forward to that. Can't wait to be back in the Duke. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the supports, the super chats, the bank angle checks. You guys are awesome. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Until the next one, stay safe, stay healthy on V1. See you. Well, that doesn't sound good. That's a wheel well fire. That's crazy. Maybe because we smoked the brakes. Thank you, Pete.